I work in a big movie theater that has 9 theaters and 2 bars. Up to a certain time we are family friendly. Kids 4 to 14 are allowed to come with parents and kids 15 to 17 can come by themselves. However, after 8 PM we stop running the kids movies, PG, and only kids 15 to 17 can come with parental supervision. One of the reasons for this is because there is a bar people hang out at. I'm working in one of the theaters playing Joker for the 9:15 showing, and a single, ticket-wise, guy came in and took his seat. I checked his ticket. Cool. He's good to go. About 10 minutes in, my manager comes in the station and points to this guy's seat on our seating chart. Manager Ed, look, I know you know. That's a guy on his own, right? Me, yup. Why, what's up? He just dropped his 3 kids off in the bar area because they are too young to see Joker. Basically this dude had 3 kids. One was 12, the others roughly 10 and 7. Tried to get them all into Joker, but was told by our ticketer that they were too young, so he just left them there and went in by himself. According to now the kids were wrecking the lobby and bar, knocking over our cardboard cutouts, and screaming and whatnot. We go into the theater and kneels down by Ed and politely and quietly tells him he can't leave his kids in our bar or lobby. Ed, the oldest, is 12, he can watch them. Sir, after 8-hour HQ Toff is 14 and they still need a parent with them. Ed, not at all trying to be quiet, well that's stupid. This is supposed to be a family friendly neighborhood. That's just our policy, and your kids are causing a disturbance at our bar. You need to get them now. Ed, I'm watching a movie, man. Just send them to the park across the street. Wow, what a great father. At this point backs up and radios for security, who is this big scary looking guy who's naturally actually a big teddy bear, but he shows up, and when Ed sees him, he leaves without causing a scene. He muttered some crap about us and how we were going to lose all our business because we don't cater to parents, blah blah blah. All in all, not super dramatic like some on here, I just thought he was a terrible parent. As a note, there have been a couple robberies in the park across the street lately, so sending your young children over there at night is extra bad. When I was 17, I worked as an intern at a jewelry store. I would basically just help customers find jewelry, pay for it, and maintain the register. One Friday night, I was anxious to close because I was going to stay after hours to repair a necklace of mine. It wasn't anything too remarkable to a normal person, just a silver chain with an ebony ring in the center. But the history it had to my family is so important. The story goes that my great-great-great-grandfather, a French woodcarver, created that ebony ring with his own bare hands. Carved both his and my great-great-great-grandmother's initials into it and used it to propose to her. When he went off to war a few years later, he told her to, if he didn't make it back, tie the ring to her favorite silver chain so he could always be near her heart. He never returned, and my great-great-great-grandmother kept her promise, and it had since become a family heirloom. But anyways, I was just closing up when and her actually decent child come in. Me, good evening. Welcome to Paris Jewelers. How may I help you? Cut the small talk. My daughter needs a perfect necklace for her bat mitzvah and I want to see them now. Slightly put off by her rude tone, but I assume she's just stressed out and go to help her. After looking through all of our best necklaces, she's still not satisfied. No. Where's your good jewelry? Me, mom. If these selections are not to your liking, I'm sure I can help you find another. I want that one. I look to where she's pointing and see that she apparently wants my necklace, which is clearly on my employee desk and not on the display cases. Me, I'm sorry, mom, but that's not for sale. It's actually, don't lie. I want that necklace, so you're going to hand it over. Me, listen, it's an heirloom. My family values it more than anything. Daughter, leave her alone. Mom, I can get another. The mom just dismisses her with a wave of her hand. I'm about to open my mouth in protest, but then my boss walks in. Boss, is there a problem, ladies? Your little beach of an intern won't give me the necklace I want. She threw it behind the desk, just so I couldn't get it. Daughter, mom, you know that's not what happened. Don't lie about. Shush. You're hysterical because this girl is being so mean. My boss looks at me, then back at the M and her daughter. He eventually turns back to me. Boss, can you please show me the necklace in question? I go and get my necklace and show it to him. My boss knows that it is important to me and he turns back to the M. Boss, is this the necklace you wanted? M, yes. Boss, then I'm afraid you're mistaken. This necklace is in fact this young lady's property. Now please leave or I will escort you out personally. M glares at me, but eventually grumbles and leaves. Before she takes off, however, the daughter says she needs to use the restroom. The mom tells her to hurry up before going to wait. The young girl then bursts into tears, apologizing for her mom's behavior and sobbing about how embarrassed she is. My boss and I felt so bad for her that we gave her an inexpensive bracelet for free and said a special mazel tov for her. Poor girl. Wherever you are, I hope you're free from your mother and living your best life. I work at a popular cafe in a very wealthy area of town that is next door to a medical spa that does things like lip injections and botox. 2 children walked into my store unattended. I thought their parents must be somewhere inside or still in the car. Maybe they were being dropped off to meet a tutor? I wasn't sure. There was a boy who was about 8 and a girl who was about 5. It became very apparent that their mom and dad were not in my cafe as they began running around the lobby together, dragging chairs across the floor, knocking items off displays, digging their hands into the sweeteners at the condiment bar, etc. Eventually the pair came up and sat at one of 3 bar stools at the end of my bar as I was making drinks. They started asking me for hot chocolates. I told them if their mommy or daddy bought them a hot chocolate then I would be happy to make them one. As if on cue, the little girl started screeching at the top of her lungs and the little boy began pounding his hands on the countertop and yelling that their mom promised them a hot chocolate and that I had to make them one because she told them I would. The little girl started crying and trying to stand on the bar stools. I told her to sit down before she hurt herself. I asked who they were with and the boy said his mom brought them. I asked where she was and they told me they didn't know. I told them to sit down and sent my coworker to ask around to see if she could find their mother. I continued making drinks and the boy kept shouting at me and demanding hot chocolates. His sister was a blubbering, crying mess who would alternate between sobbing hiccups and flat out screaming. This woman who was waiting for her drink told the kids to be quiet and also asked where their mom was. The little girl said something like getting her face done and the woman said I'll be right back. This woman straight up marched into the mid-spa and, according to an employee there that I know, apparently chewed out this mother and berated her in the middle of the appointment for leaving her kids in my cafe. The M put up a fight about it, so the customer came back in the store and called the police in front of me. Meanwhile, both kids are now standing on the bar stools screaming about hot chocolate, even if they weren't brats, and I felt like giving them hot chocolate for free. I can't do that without parents present. The police showed up just in time to see the 8-year-old boy fall off the bar stool and bust his lip open. One officer went next door and forced the mother out mid-appointment and brought her into the cafe and she immediately started screaming at the first woman for calling the police and then at me and my coworker for letting her son get hurt. The second officer went off on the M who said she felt she was in the right because I wouldn't be gone long and I didn't leave them unattended. There are employees here to watch them. Beach, I'm not getting paid to watch your kids. I'm getting paid to serve coffee. The little girl kept crying about hot chocolate and the mom was like, wait, you didn't give them hot cocoa? And I was like, I know. You have to pay for that. And I can't give kids drinks without parents' permission. What if one of them had an allergy or was diabetic or something? And she started screaming about how she shouldn't have to pay because they are children and we should just be nice. The officers eventually made her stop and took her outside. I saw them writing something out, but I don't know if it was a ticket. I'm not sure what happened after that because I decided to take my lunch and went out the back door to avoid her. Okay, so this happened a few weeks ago and just got around to posting it. Sorry for any mistakes. English is not my first language. Also, this story is kind of extreme, so if you're sensitive to really terrible parents, don't read this. A little background. I work at a cinema as a controller. I think that's what it's called in English. I check all the auditoriums and see if the movies are playing correctly, that the sound is okay and so on. If anything happens in any of the auditoriums during the movie, I'm just supposed to call the manager. We have quite the problem with parents not getting that we are a cinema and not a babysitting service. A lot of parents leave their children in the auditoriums to watch the movie and come back when the movie is finished. We usually don't mind when people tell us and the children are old enough. This entitled mum did not tell us and her child was not old enough. So I was going to clean up an auditorium after a showing of Angry Birds. Lots of popcorn, lots to do, and a little girl still sitting in her seat. This girl was young, could have been more than 4 years old. Usually when children are alone in the theater like this, the parents are just around the corner, and I assumed hers would too. After waiting a solid 10 minutes, I decided to talk to the little girl. Me, hey, is there someone here with you? I can help you find them if you want. LG, my mum is doing something important. Me, I see. Did she have to call someone? The little girl looks at me with a confused look, and I start to understand a little more of the situation at least. Me, is your mum here with you? LG, no. Me, do you know where she is? LG, yes. She's doing something important. Me, was she watching the movie with you? LG, no, but she told me to stay here and watch the movie and she would meet me here when she's done. Me, I see. Another movie is about to start here, so we have to leave this auditorium, but can't you come with me and we can wait for your mother in the cinema foyer? LG didn't mind that and followed me downstairs. I told my manager and we decided to wait for half an hour before calling someone, since she was so young and perhaps her mother was just in the cinema building. Spoiler, she wasn't. We talked a bit to the girl, but apart from knowing her own name she didn't know much. She knew her mother's first name, but it was a common name that we could find her number in the yellow pages without calling about 100 other people. So we called the police. The police showed up, talked to the girl, and decided to take her to the station. We were just told to call them again if the mother showed up. Of course the mum showed up. 3 hours after. We knew she was there because we hear screaming in the kiosk. Me and the manager ran there of course and saw a woman so red in the face it looked like she would burst. We explained the situation to her and told her to contact the police and she just snapped. She started screaming that she had only been away for an hour and that the cinema had kidnapped her baby. We called the police when she started throwing things and spitting at us. Thank you for watching. Slap that like button and comment your opinion on these stories below. I'm waiting. Write that comment. Seriously. Have you written it yet? If you don't comment, you make a bunny cry somewhere. You're not that kind of person. I know. Anyways, peace out and catch you tomorrow.